Whoa! Hey guys, welcome back to the show. It's me, Little Joe. I'm the temporary host of the show. My name's Little Joe.
Little Joe, this is the funniest joke in the world. Nobody's ever come up with something this good.
You might say that.
I am having trouble doing the show.
Guys, welcome back to the show. You know what we do on this episode of the show? We look at one of the most bizarre news organizations, content organizations, let's call it. That's right, the Daily
Pendejo.
Let's see what's going on in the news through the eyes of madness, we call it.
So let's take a look at this. It sounds like this, and it goes like this.
Howdy, folks. We have a rare, special extra episode of the show this week. Why? Well, because I actually bothered to read the entirety of Bernie Sanders' capitalist money grab. It's okay to be angry about capitalism.
Wow.
By Bernie Sanders.
Okay.
This is sponsored by ExpressVPN. Okay. So, this book, it's bad. It's a bad book. It's a bad book, not only because it's quite boring, but also because it's filled with terrible ideas. And so today we're going to go through it. And the reason we're going to go through it is because somehow this career useless person,
Let me get a look at that book. Spine doesn't look very cracked. Spine doesn't look very cracked on that. Looking pretty new, but okay.
This career useless person.
Whoa!
This elderly socialist who's never held a real job. Literally never his entire life held a real job.
Whoa! Benny Shapiro, still getting a lot of views, Benny Shapiro. What's this? What is this thing called? Ben rips Bernard Sanders.
It is a little bit weird.
Whoa, geez, okay, I didn't know that. Sorry. This segment really should be used in schools about how to spot goofy propaganda online. I mean, it's kind of perfect for that. He's reviewing this book of Bernard Sanders. I love that he starts off with this guy's a career useless person, never had a real job. I mean, if he's never had a real job, you definitely never had a real job. This is just from Ben Shapiro's Wikipedia. He became interested in politics at a young age. He started a nationally syndicated column when he was 17. Could you imagine? Oh, I'll just read this 17-year-old's column. The only nationally syndicated column a 17-year-old should be writing is
Backpack straps. Should you use both or just one? What looks cooler?
I would check that out, but otherwise, I would have to say
it is a little bit weird.
Okay, thank you. I mean, Benny Shapiro really went right into this. He's been a goofball propaganda since he was a teenager.
That guy never worked a real job.
Have you ever worked a real job?
Oh my, yuck. No.
Because here's the thing. A real critic of capitalism, and there are many. There are people on the right like Sora Bamari, for example. And there are people on the left like Slavoy Zizek.
Toilets.
Right, there are people who actually are serious thinkers. Bernie is not one.
This is pretty funny because the whole video, it's 34 minutes long, for Christ's sake. Oh my God. No. I sit through this 34-minute thing, and the whole thing is
this guy's radical. He wants to kill people. He's murderous. He's a murderous radical. He's blah, 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 blah.
He's a murderous radical. He's way too extreme with all this stuff, but there are more reasonable people. There are more reasonable people like Slavoy Zizek.
Toilets.
But what I want to say is that it's clear that we are facing problems where neither market nor state, the way we'll have it today, toilets, will be able to do it. And that's for me the space for something that I prefer to call communism, not socialism, because today everybody is a socialist. I read an interview, Bill Gates is a socialist. Socialism means today, what you said, not too much egotism.
So that's sort of interesting and funny. Ben Shapiro's like,
this guy's too radical. This guy, Bernard Sanders.
This guy.
It is a little bit weird.
He's too extreme.
He'll go on in this video about how this guy's so extreme. He's too extreme, this guy Bernard Sanders, a guy who has said over and over he wants a Nordic-style social democracy. That's too extreme. We need serious thinkers who say that socialism is not enough. We need communism, which Slavoy Zizek has said over and over again.
And that's for me the space for something that I prefer to call communism, not socialism.
So, okay, all right, Ben Shapiro. I mean,
I'm calling bluff.
Calm down. I think maybe he's never watched any Slavoy Zizek stuff. I think maybe he read that tablet article where Slavoy Zizek was like, Where Slavoy Zizek goes, I think he talks like Ben Shapiro too. I think we did. Things are too woke. And maybe he read that and he's like, okay, that's all. That's all. Because I'm allergic to work. I'm allergic to the work of reading some other crap or watching another video. So I guess, look, I mean, Ben Shapiro, very extreme guy. He's saying, I don't know what, Medicare for all or whatever is too extreme. We need full communism, which I think, whoa, Ben Shapiro, I don't know if your audience is going to like that. Please calm down, you son of a you.
Uber cars.
Right. The thing I always wonder about Benny Shapiro is, like, how do you not get bored doing this? Like, how do you not hate your life doing this? Just like, there's no curiosity. It's just like, I gotta say this stupid crap. I don't know how he does it. You gotta be a little bit of a dimwit, I feel like, to not get bored with this.
And listen to this sort of Leninist ugliness that he directs against people who make money in our country. Okay. It really is amazing.
Check it out.
We need to recognize once and for all that for people on top, enough is never enough. How much do they need? The answer is always more. Like heroin addicts, oligarchs are never satisfied with what they have. They need a new fix, more and more and more, no matter what the consequences of their greed.
Oh my God.
I mean, that's probably we should kill them. They sound pretty evil. All they want is more and more and more. Now, in reality, it is Bernie who wants more and more of their income because he doesn't produce anything. I can't get over this. He has not produced a single thing of value in his entire stupid life. Not a single thing.
Well,
Unlike me.
I didn't really have too much interest in this Bernard Saunders book, reading it, looking at it, I feel like I probably get what's in there, but I really wanted to know the context of these quotes that Benny Shapiro
is reading all this crap.
That he's reading. So I downloaded the book and I searched these quotes I was like, what's the context of this crap? So what does he say? We need to recognize once and for all that for people on the top, enough is never enough. How much do they need? The answer is always more, like a heroin addict, blah, 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 blah. They're greedy, basically, he's saying. He reads this and he goes,
he's probably saying we should kill these people.
What's the context of this quote? Here's the paragraphs before this quote. Our struggle is against a system where the top 25 hedge fund managers in the United States pocket more money than 350,000 kindergarten teachers combined. When did the people make that determination? When did we decide that a drug company executive at Moderna can collect a golden parachute valued at $926 million? Whoa. This might hit Benny Shapiro where it hurts. For not working. While EMT workers who work, they do this. This is what they sound like working. While EMT workers who work around the clock to save lives make as little as $40,000 a year. Whoa. That's pretty brutal, Bernard. Calm down, please. Yes, it is disgraceful that despite an explosion in technology and huge increase in productivity, the average American worker today makes no more than he or she did 50 years ago in real inflation-adjusted dollars. It is frightening to know that most of the new jobs now being created are low-skill, low-wage. Yeah, if you read this stuff from Bernard, he's just pointing out kind of basic problems. He's pointing out pretty obvious problems. Benjamin,
he wants to kill people. He wants to kill these people.
He picks out a bunch of quotes from this book, and every quote, if you actually look at it and read it, most of the stuff, even Ben's audience would probably agree with all of it if they actually looked up these quotes and read maybe half of the page. But that's a tough one. That's a tough one for Benny Shapiro,
who's obsessed with work. This guy's never worked. It's
pretty hard when you start with the frame of this guy doesn't work. And then you look at these, drug company executives making $926 million for not working, while people who do, some of the hardest work, an EMT driver who doesn't get paid nothing. A little bit hard for your case, buddy. But thank God, none of your audience will actually read the book. It's like, I really value work. I clearly really value hard work. I'm Ben Shapiro. I really value hard work. But the people who do the hardest work, kiss my ass, basically.
But then there's also some pretty good stuff. Like I have the cell phone right here. I have a computer in front of me. I have a house. I have a car. I live way better than my grandparents did. Way, way better than my great-grandparents did.
Okay.
I live better than my parents did. I mean, let's be frank about this. Your living standard today in 2023 is significantly better than your parents' living standard was in 1990. You have better stuff. You do. Okay. I know people have told you that's not true.
Yeah.
Take a look at the devices your parents were using, like a Walkman, and think to yourself, and no cell phone, and think to yourself whether you would trade places with your parents, economically speaking, in 1990.
Yeah, I would rather have a cell phone. Yep. Okay.
Answer is most likely not.
Right.
Okay, but.
Hello? This is a funny one and a very lazy bastard one, too. Because Bernard Sanders is a, Nordic model guy. I want this is my Bernie Sanders impression. I want stuff to be more like Finland and Norway and Denmark and all this crap. That sounds exactly like him. Don't start any crap about it.
I want stuff to be more like Sweden.
That's what he talks about all the time. This Nordic model stuff. If you just do a little bit of, I would say, if you put in just a little bit of work to look into this, those countries actually have some of the highest rates of what he's talking about, technological innovation. There's a bunch of, there's the People's Policy Project thing about it. There's a bunch of research about it, but
that's too much work to look into that.
And that's just one of the little problems with this. There's also the thing of the internet, GPS, all the crap that we use this technology for is all publicly funded crap. So that's kind of a problem too, but who cares? Keep going.
In the entirety of this very long and boring book, this book, by the way, charts out to 293 pages.
Could you imagine putting in the work to read a book?
Too much.
It's like 10 pages of actual content. He doesn't actually care about where goods come from. He just assumes them.
Right.
There's a famous joke in economics. It originally came from a book from 1970 by a guy named Kenneth Boulding.
Who?
Where he said there's a story that's been going around about a physicist, a chemist, and an economist who are stranded on a desert island with no implements and a can of food. The physicist and the chemist each devised an ingenious mechanism for getting the can open. The economist said, assume we have a can opener.
Okay.
Because a lot of economics is sort of imagining theoreticals, but Bernie actually does that. He just assumes prosperity. Assume prosperity. Don't imagine how we got there. Don't think about how we got there. Don't provide any proof how we got there. Just assume it.
This is another funny one because he started this off with,
this guy doesn't work. People who work deserve things. People who work are the best.
This is another funny one because it really is something that someone who's never had a real job would say these kind of things. He's like,
this guy doesn't care where things come from, how things get made. He doesn't care.
But if you read it, the whole book is him saying the people who are actually doing real work deserve more money. That's the whole book, basically. In Ben Shapiro's world, what he would have us believe is that the only people who are doing real work are the people who own stock. So if you go into a Starbucks, the people who are
pumping the double pump on that.
Those people aren't doing real work. You would have to believe that those people actually don't really exist in this equation. I think Ben Shapiro walks into a Starbucks or something, and the people who are actually doing the work that makes Starbucks money, those are just robots or something in Ben Shapiro's world. It is the view of somebody who's never had a job, I think.
Which is kind of ironic, because he loves people who never have a job are stupid.
It's funny because what he's actually saying is
people who do work deserve the benefits of work, except for people who work. They don't deserve anything.
Real politics recognizes corporate elites are not nice guys. They are ruthless.
Whoa.
Day after day, they sacrifice human life and well-being in order to protect their privilege.
Oh.
I mean, again, this is rather murderous language. They literally spend their days figuring out, the rich people, how to kill you so they can make more money. To kill you.
It's murderous.
To murder you and steal your wealth.
Whoa.
This is murderous. This is murderous.
This is murderous language. Just to put it into a little more context, let's read the paragraph before what Ben Shapiro reads. Real politics is about understanding that the economic elites, who Ben Shapiro talks about, the elites, all the time, that the economic elites will never support policies that threaten their wealth and power. They are waging class war against working people, and they are winning. According to the Rand Corporation, over the past 47 years, $50 trillion in wealth has been redistributed from the bottom 90% to the top 1%, primarily because an ever-increasing percentage of corporate profits has been flowing into the stock portfolios of the investor class.
Murderous!
Again, every quote that he reads from this book, if you read the rest of the page, it's just stuff that it's very basic problems that even Ben Shapiro's audience knows about. So he just reads a quote.
He's like, that sounds a little murderous to me, don't you think?
This is part of why I didn't really have too much interest in reading this book, because it's kind of stuff that everybody already knows.
On one side are the wealthy few who will cede nothing to the many. On the other side are the many who must demand what is rightfully theirs. Now, he never actually answers why it's rightfully theirs.
Yeah, he does.
It's a real question. Why is somebody else's stuff rightfully yours?
Oh, I guess I could answer that, because you don't have a Starbucks without people who work at Starbucks. But again, that's something that only people who have worked would understand. So,
that's a tough one for you, because you know now how you've never done that.
There are a few points in his book where his latent hatred for the United States really comes out.
Oh, whoa.
Really comes out.
He hates America. He's a terrorist.
He's basically a terrorist. He did 9/11.
And he loved it. He loved every minute of it.
Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry to interrupt. What were you saying?
And here is one of them. Quote, Recently, there has been much political and media discussion about the oligarchy surrounding Vladimir Putin.
Whoa.
The veteran KGB operative who has emerged as Russia's authoritarian leader.
Wow.
But oligarchy is not a uniquely Russian phenomenon.
Okay.
What about the oligarchs of America? What about the perverse and destructive role they play in shaping our society? Why is there no acknowledgement by our political and media elites that there is an American oligarchy every bit as dangerous as the oligarchies we decry in other countries? Maybe because the oligarchies that are allied with Vladimir Putin involve pushing people they don't like out of, like, 7th-story windows and invading foreign countries and legitimately executing their dissidents and jailing them.
This is sort of odd because I do depend on Benny Shapiro for my news. And this is sort of an odd one because what because what he didn't say, oh no, we don't have an oligarchy here. He just said ours is better, actually. Ours is better than the
Ours is better. Ours is better than the Russian one because they throw people out of buildings over there.
So that's a little weird to be like, oh no, some oligarchies are better. Not like, oh hey, maybe it's kind of bad to have an oligarchy. That seems a little bit bad. That's not his thing. His thing is
some are fine. Some are fine.
Some are fine. And then one of the examples he gives is invading other countries. I can't tell. Ben Shapiro looks pretty young, but I think he was alive and writing articles, apparently, in the early 2000s in America when some invasions, some very prominent invasions were going on that pretty much everybody involved in that stuff admitted that it was all a lie and all that. But again, that would take a little bit of work. To remembering is work. Remembering things is work, and I don't want to do that. This might be weird to say, but some oligarchies are kind of cool. Does that make sense? Is that weird? Is that weird to say? I would like to see the tier list that Ben Shapiro creates for the oligarch stuff. Like Russian oligarchs, that would be like S. That's S tier. But like Jeffrey Epstein type crap, that's like B. That's like a B, C, maybe. I don't know. I would like to see it. Maybe you could do a video on that. Ben Shapiro, please make that video.
Here's the evil part.
Whoa, evil.
Our economic debates should not revolve around questions of resources.
Whoa.
They should revolve around questions of intent and will.
Okay.
Woo.
Woo.
Let me read that last line again.
Yes, please.
Our economic debates should not revolve around questions of resources.
Okay.
They should revolve around questions of intent and will.
Oh.
To understand how evil that is, here's what you need to understand.
Very evil.
Economics has always been about the distribution of scarce resources.
Uh-huh.
And how you actually use scarce resources to create plentiful resources, right? Supply and demand is about the distribution of scarce resources. How are those resources allocated?
Huh?
How do you create incentives with resource allocation that allow people to innovate and create new products and services, right? That's what policy has always been about. He says we should never think about that. Stop thinking about questions of resources. Instead, the only way to adjudicate whether a policy is good or bad, or whether an economic system is good or bad, is the intent and the will.
Huh?
The intent and the will.
Whoa, hey.
Men of great intent. That's what matters. That you aspire to greatness. And you must have a will to power.
I have no idea what's going on now, okay?
That's the only way. In the intent and will, that is the worst way to adjudicate whether a policy is good.
Okay, it gets a little
weird
there. The quote he reads, it kind of doesn't really say too much without the context. So here's the paragraph before it. If we truly intend to make America great, we will strive to be a nation that has eliminated poverty, yuck, disgusting, homelessness, and disease of despair, where hard work is rewarded with a living wage, and where those who are too old or too infirm to work are protected by a safety net that guarantees no American will be destitute. Yuck! I like that kind of stuff. I like those kind of things because they're cool.
Like I was saying, some oligarchies are cool. Homelessness, all that stuff is also cool because, I don't know, I'm weird.
That's not a utopian vision of some foreign construct. This country should have the best educational system in the world, from childcare to graduate school, accessible to all, regardless of income. Terrible, weird, disgusting. I mean, every quote he reads is like this. If you read if you read the same page, it's like stuff that only like a lunatic, only a lunatic would be mad about, have any upset about. I'm not sure why he started doing a German accent, except that I don't know. Maybe I've been taking improv classes and I've been doing some accents. Is there anything controversial? Can anybody find anything controversial about that statement? That we definitely have the resources to have the best education system, to not have people being poor, to have living wage.
A living wage is kind of evil, because if you can afford your rent, you might be like, I'm gonna do some evil shit now.
If you're not worrying about being homeless all the time, you might have more time to do evil.
That's who Bernie Sanders is. And the fact that this guy has become a mainstream political voice in the United States right now demonstrates how stupid we are politically. my favorite.
Speaking of how stupid mainstream politics has gotten, let's take a look at the next Ben Shapiro video.
My friend Chaya Raichik, libs of TikTok. She has been
sounds pretty stupid so far. Okay, let's hear.
Unjustly accused by fools like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of facilitating violence against, for example, Boston Children's Hospital, for pointing out that Boston Children's Hospital literally told her on the phone that they were performing trans surgeries on minors. And so she confronted. She tried to file an ethics complaint against AOC and tried to confront her on it. She went to her office. AOC had kind of run away from there. And then she actually ended up meeting her, and here's how that went.
Oh, amazing. I attempted to ask AOC why she lied about me in a committee hearing. She cowered away. She refused to talk to me. So I'm back here today, 1 week later, and I'm going to deliver her an ethics complaint that I filed for lying about an American citizen in a committee hearing, together with Mike from the Heritage Foundation Oversight. He helped me file this ethics complaint, so we filed that. And if you can give it to AOC, I would really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And tell her to stop lying about American citizens.
Okay, have a good one.
Okay.
Thank you.
I just dropped off an ethics complaint at AOC's office, and unfortunately she wasn't there. So we left, and then I was walking through the Capitol, and guess who I bumped into? AOC herself. I just delivered an ethics complaint to your office because you lied about me in a committee hearing.
Oh, hi.
Yeah,
No,
so
actually,
I never inspired a bump for
No,
it.
you're actually super transphobic, and I never want to share space with you. Thank you.
You're super transphobic. Big hand motion.
Yeah, again, I want to see that tier list. You know, a guy who's like, hey, people, how do we do a Bernie Sanders?
People who, whatever.
People who work a real job should have a living wage. That's stupid. But a lady, the libs of TikTok lady, tries to get a viral moment by doing a video with a congressperson with a fake ethics complaint. You know, she goes down there with a Heritage Foundation guy. That seems pretty legit. That seems like real solid politics. That seems like real solid politics right there. You know, look, I'm here being super charismatic, trying to get viral. That's the real stuff. Living wage, making sure people don't go broke because of their health care. Boring. Making fun of Ben Shapiro always feels hacky because he doesn't even believe this stuff. I mean, he's just like, his brain is probably melting from having to say this stuff. It's how stupid it is. You know, we put those two things on the scale, trying to make life for the average person who, again, does real work better, or viral moments, stupid viral moments. It's like, it's hard. It's hard to measure that stuff. It's hard to look at that. It's hard to look at that stuff and parse it because it's complicated. And I am very intelligent. Okay, moving on to another daily weirdo. This is a guy. People have been making fun of this guy because he was in an acting role where he was like, I don't know, like he was like playing a gay character, and they're passing this around where he's like in bed with some guy or whatever. And it's like, that's the best thing this guy. Those are the best things that this guy has done. Michael J. Knowles, we call him. Somebody sent me this video, and this is actually just great. I mean, this is just, if anybody's a writer out there looking for a story to write, a novel or a script to write, just take this and do it, because it's great.
Someone wrote into my show.
Oh, wow.
Said, Michael, if you could meet the devil. I said, I don't know. I probably have met the devil a few times. Don't wish I
met him twice.
You've met him twice?
Personally.
How'd that?
Whoa! Now we're talking.
The beginning of the rise. The beginning of the rise of the Antichrist.
We actually have a recording of that devil. He sounds like this.
So it's the middle of the day. It's like noon. I come out of the church,
and
there's this beautiful, handsome man.
Ooh.
Custom tailored suit.
Mike knows.
And he's staring at me.
Okay.
Which, if you've ever lived in New York, you don't stare at people.
It's pretty unusual.
Very. Like you put your eye, you don't.
Yeah.
It's almost an attack. Like this, I'm being attacked now. I have to fight. And I just was like, weird. So I turned to walk towards my office, and he runs up next to me and he grabs me by the arm.
Okay.
Again, no guys do that. No guy grabs somebody by the arm and is like escorting them. And he goes, let's get a drink.
Oh,
and I just had chills go up and down my body. And I said, get away from me. And then I turned direction and went towards my apartment because it was closer. And then a few years later, I was on a vacation visiting an old banker friend down in Miami.
Uh-oh.
And she set up a whole luncheon at this place called Nikki Beach, which really isn't appropriate for seminarians or priests. It's it's the glitterati, the high-powered, wealthy people. It's bottle service on the beach.
Right.
And I'm just like, I don't know how I feel about this.
A lot of handsome devils around there, that's for sure. They sound like this.
And the two girls to my right, I knew both of them. Sandra was hosting, and my ex-boss, Christine, was with me. And they start looking at this guy across over by the other end of the deck. Like, oh my God, look at that guy. He's so handsome. My God, he's beautiful. And all of a sudden, Sandra's like, oh, he's coming over here.
Uh-oh. Okay.
And I turn and I look, and it's him.
Handsome.
It's the guy. It's the one that wanted to get the drink. Only now he's like shirtless in a bathing suit, and he walks up and he goes, "What are you doing here? I thought you were going to be a priest." And he goes, "This is my territory. You shouldn't be here."
That right there is the stuff of best-selling erotic fiction, right there. A handsome young priest meets the ripped, Top Gun volleyball scene devil in Miami.
Oh, this devil's so handsome. This devil's so handsome.
Well, if the devil were trying to tempt me, I think it would be like Maddie Matheson, like just a big round devil who's like, let's go eat short ribs all day. But God, you son of a bitch, devil. I'm trying to do intermittent fasting, devil. He's like, no, let's go eat duck. I ain't even trying to judge right now, but I think like this Magic Mike ass version of the devil could be a very good story.
I don't know that I've ever actually met the devil.
Well, didn't you live in LA for a while? Okay, anyway.
But I'm pretty convinced I've met angels.
Okay.
I'm quite convinced of that. Mm. And I'm on the subway, on the 6 train. Mm-hmm. And I forget exactly which direction it was, but it was either I got on, or either this happened at 28th Street going uptown or 33rd Street going downtown.
Okay. And Mikey, let's get to it. Okay.
I'm on the train.
All right.
And this kind of funny looking black guy and this lady walk onto the train. They're clearly together.
Easy, Mike.
They go, she's standing over here, and then this guy sits down right next to me, and I'm just trying to read my Kindle. So he's just looking at me.
Okay. Is this made up?
Hey.
Yeah.
Says, hey, who are you? It's like, huh? Oh, I'm Michael. He was like, oh, my name's Michael too.
Oh.
We're angels. And I said, I had just come back into believing in God and the church and everything. Okay. I said, oh, yeah, how about that? He goes, so what do you do? I said, oh, I work in politics and show business, or so,
Michael Knowles here seems to be channeling a little bit of Goldblum-y, Christopher Walken-y energy here,
He goes, so what do you do?
I was walking. Whoa! I was on the subway. Whoa!
Train comes to a stop. He stands up, walks off the train. Doesn't even look at the woman he walked on the train with.
Definitely an angel.
And the thing that's so weird about this, and you will know this as a New Yorker, is on that train, 28th Street to 33rd Street, it's 5 blocks.
Yeah.
Nobody in New York is going to take the subway to go from 28th Street to 33rd Street to 33rd Street to 28th Street. That's
angel. That's angel shit. How a guy taking a weird route on the subway, come on, man. Michael Knowles obviously saying a wretched stuff all the time on his stupid channel, but this interview's great because you could tell that this priest the whole time while Michael Knowles is telling this made-up story, he's just like, oh, wow, he got off on the wrong subway thing? What?
Okay, great, guys.
So, of course, we have to check in with quite possibly one of the most famous Daily Weirdos. That's right, Dr. Jordan K. Tweederston, Dr. Jordan T. Peterbone. I watched a video that he made where he interviews a parkour guy, and the whole time they're talking about, like, man, people can't handle the internet, you know? They're on the internet too much.
First of all, I thought, it's like, what the hell are you doing? There's 5 of us around the fireplace, and you're on your phones, completely engrossed in them. And I don't know what you're doing on your phone, but whatever you're doing, you're not being here now with actual people.
Yeah. Wow.
And I think their whole lives are like that, you know? And part of the reason kids are so confused about their identity is because their identity is never played out in the actual world. They're in these virtual delusions.
And I think if anybody needs to take a little breaky pie from the internet, it might be Jordan Tweederston, because he's again fallen for another fresh off his Chinese milking facility. What would we call it? Getting tricked? Here's his tweet. This idiot country, I like that part. This idiot country, he's talking about Canada, is sheathed in ice 7 months of the year, and the Trans-Canada Highway, an underdeveloped national disgrace, is 5,000 miles long. Is there nothing so stupid you won't do it? At Justin Trudeau. And what he's retweeting is a Western Standard, which is a conservative Canadian website that says, 1 lane along the 8,000-kilometer highway will be repurposed from motor vehicles to bicycles and other human-powered transportation. You'll notice a thing below it on the Elon Musk-run website called Tweeterman, Jordan Tweederman. You'll notice a little thing under it that says, readers added context they thought people might want to know. This is an April Fool's joke. The sign-off for this Western Standard article says, from all of us at the Western Standard, have a happy April Fool's Day.
They're in these virtual delusions.
They're in these virtual delusions.
Yeah, Jordy, you gotta take a break, buddy. You gotta take a break. Take a little tweeter break, buddy.
So there we go, guys. Some of our finest newsmen.
They are going like this. And frankly, when they do these videos, I believe that they're going like this.
So guys, eats a day that we don't like to talk about.
There was this famous cartoon cat who used to talk about it. He loved lasagna, you know, and he hated Mondays, okay? And he died. He died believing that. And we respect him and we honor him. We're not gonna take it anymore. Any of this Monday stuff, so don't do it. Don't fall for it. Hope you guys are having a good one, and I will talk to you later.
Oh, hey guys.
Guess what? You're not even getting the whole show. If you want every episode and a whole bunch of other
subscribe on Patreon.
Subscribe on Patreon for as little as 2 bones. Just click the stupid little link below the video in the comments.
See, right there.
There you go. Click it, and that, yep. When you become a patron for as little as 2 bones, you get the Tuesday, Thursday, patron-only episodes. You also get the weekly Book-a-Blega show where we talk about important books. The questions and comments thing where you can ask questions and make comments and all this crap.
And the weekly behind-the-scenes show. All for less than the price of a rancid Charleston chew.
And for only 25 putrid little dollars,
you could become a producer.
That's right, support the show and get your name up here. Look at these people. Look at these people. It make the show possible. Okay? God. I mean, without these beautiful people, this show goes straight into the dumpster. A rotten, just wet, disgusting dumpster, behind a restaurant. So there's old milk in there. That's where this show ends up without these people. Is that what you want? Okay, I guess it's what you want. I'll just leave. Nope, it's done. It's too late. Okay? Here we go. Here's the dump truck. Come to pick up the show. This is what would happen with no producers. Thank you.